where anyone who must can also go back and watch it. So DeFi, do tell whenever you're about to start this stream.
Hey, Freddie.
Sure. I'll just do a quick introduction and then we'll get it started. GMI School. Thanks for hopping up.
For sure.
Awesome. So I'll just do a quick introduction then. DeFi, good to go? Yes, I am ready. 3, 2, 1. Yeah.
Okay, can I start?
Just a quick one. GM, everyone. Welcome to our weekly demos brought to you by Fight Club and BanklessDAO and taking place every Wednesdays here in the BanklessDAO amphitheater. Today we have Freddie Murky joining us from Purple Trader, which is a centralized exchange in the US where you can discover and trade community and social tokens. Today we'll be getting a tour of their platform and understand what they have to offer. Just a disclaimer before we begin that nothing we discuss is going to be financial advice or any kind of investment advice. It's a learning opportunity and we're excited to bring it to you. All right, Freddie, over to you, sir.
Thank you very much for this invitation. It's going to be a pleasure. So let me share my screen here.
Yes.
Let me know if you can see. Okay. So we are an exchange of social tokens. So it's a centralized exchange based in US. And we focus on helping users to discover and buy community tokens. So we are in this mission to make community tokens more trustworthy. So before jumping into the demo, so a quick background. So our idea is actually to bring Web2 users into this social tokens ecosystem. So we focus on more long-term and passive casual investors. So that's what we focus. And just to put everyone in the same page, so social tokens, because not everyone understands the term of social tokens. So basically, it's a type of crypto that allows brands, individuals, and communities to share and collaborate on a digital ownership. So social tokens are not NFTs. So they're fungible tokens, and basically it's the value, it's around the utility that it provides. Either it's an exclusive content, an event, an experience. So that's the main aspects around community tokens. So here is the platform, so that you can take a look on the communities that we have available. You also have some education here, some deep dive. For instance, you can click here, and there is a lot of research that we do around the token, from how the DAO is set, what is the allocation. You can also, especially for newbies and beginners, a quick overview and education about how to trade and what are the terms. And then after you go into one of the token pages, basically what we give, it's actually information, because here's the point. We believe that community tokens should not be traded as people usually trade Bitcoin. There are much more informations about reputation and utilities, who is behind, what is the core team, what are the utilities, what we can do with this. And also the social science, because most of the movements here, you're going to be seeing that is driven by the communities. So that's what we do. Like we have a lot of data points. Here in Buzz Meter, it's basically a technical analysis, very similar where you can see, for instance, in TradeView. So it's a moving average. So can give you some short-term idea if you should be buying or maybe you should sell. This is not on a device. Actually, anything that I speak here, it's on a device. It's education or some insights for you to go deeper, and also some scores. So we try to understand like some data points around the community and try to predict what would be the scores compared, for instance, to other communities, or even compared to the token itself. So the scores that we get, this is very recent. We launched the score, so we are in still beta and alpha mode. So basically, we have a lot of insights, like if this is how many tier 1 exchanges is traded, if the ledger is public, what are the utilities, and the more data we have, we start giving points. That's how we decide, and we put these scores here. Again, it is still a work in progress. We are getting some feedback from other traders, from the communities over this. And then you can trade as you would trade in any other exchange. You set your price, and you get here your purchase preview. So that's the quick briefing about the presentation. So let me share now other screen here, so I can give you a little bit of more color where we are going. Can you see the screen or okay, now I think you should.
Can see, yeah.
Okay, so here are a few data points that we discussed. So we basically help you to make these balanced decisions, balancing through financial and social aspects. We raise an investment from Centrifuge, from Finoa, from a legal director of Coinbase, a few influencers. My partner, I worked for AWS for 6 years in the startup venture capital ecosystem. I'm a second-time founder, and this is basically where we are going. So we are currently iterating and improving the score ecosystem. And the second the next step of this year is going to be about an automatic portfolio rebalance. What that means is that because we are focused on passive long-term users, so they don't want to spend much time trading and gathering information. So the idea is once they build their portfolio, we just provide a simple tool with 1 or 2 clicks, so they are able to rebalance and get a bit better ROI on their tradings through this rebalancing system. And then we are going to be moving those features, especially artificial intelligence advisor. We are still shaping how it's going to look like. Yeah, guys, hope it's clear. Happy to hear.
It sure is. Is that the so I think that the clicking on the buy was informative. I think a few questions. So you all provide a platform that does analytics for social tokens. At just outset, will it be more tokens or just social tokens?
Yeah, we do have other tokens like or the DAOs outside of social tokens, but our idea is to focus more and more, especially in brand tokens, creator coins, and community tokens. That's our focus, but we do have a few others. because some traders like they also prefer, especially like if we are doing rebalancing, it's nice to have other tokens involved as well.
For sure, yeah. I actually really like the analytics that you all aggregate in terms of like, you know, Twitter, like, you know, social tokens slash, you know, I think whatever fits outside of like pure DeFi tokens is interesting, but you know that you're kind of accounting for those things. That's actually pretty cool. And then trading social signals, that's neat. I had some questions in terms around like your buy, like the buy function.
Okay.
Is that like, are you all routing the purchases like a 1inch? Are you aggregating, or are you all a centralized exchange, a decentralized exchange? Like, what's the infrastructure behind that button?
Yeah, so currently we are basically acquiring the liquidity outside on, for instance, other centralized or decentralized platforms. So we are still in the alpha stage, so we are talking to a few market making solutions to make the process operationally more seamless to us. But we are currently doing this more manual approach behind of the buy button.
Got it. Yeah, so work in progress, but what I'm hearing is a centralized exchange, and that'd probably
Yeah,
be an order book centralized exchange.
exactly.
Yeah, order book. Okay, cool. Yeah, it sounds interesting. I think uh um I think that's the only high level questions I had. Um yeah, I got it. So it's
Yeah,
a
yeah,
order
yeah.
book
This is our
question.
yeah. On behind it's our order book. We still don't have like the front change of the order book exchange, but that's how it's gonna look like.
Got it.
Awesome. I wanted to ask, like, in terms of the utilities of these tokens, in order to be able to use them, you would need to like transfer them to MetaMask usually, right? Like, how does that work?
Yeah, of course. Today, the user would need to transfer the tokens for a MetaMask. So here it's focused more for the traders. If you have to use, of course, you have to move. Our focus is our vision is we are starting in this centralized form because we believe this is the quickest way to bring Web2 customers into this. But as we grow, we plan to get also more DeFi alternatives, either through wallet or the exchange itself.
Yeah, I think so a few questions. As a centralized exchange, you know, people would have an account with you all, they'd log in and they'd buy the tokens, and so you know, they'd be custodied by you all. So I think there's an acknowledgement there. I think what are you all doing for like liquidity requirements for listing on your all's exchange? Like, because you know, Coinbase, for example, or Binance has a requirement of 250,000 worth of liquidity that is provided by the DAO or the token themselves, or you know, Binance, I think it's like 500,000. Are you aware of that, or is that still being developed?
Yeah, it's still being developed. But the point here is like we are current on alpha version. So what we do, we hold customers' assets one-to-one. We are doing self-custody. And our steps, like our next step for this quarter and to be implemented until the next quarter, is to actually have a system of proof of reserves. So we ensure the assets for other customers. So that's something we are planning. But in terms of liquidity, so this is like we are still pretty new, so it's still being developing the sets and these mechanics.
Gotcha.
Awesome. Anybody in the audience, if you have a question or you want to come up, please do tell, feel free. We have a question from NF Thinker who's asking, how are you collecting data on projects and teams? Do you run due diligence on each one, both for reputation and social signals?
Yeah, so there are many platforms like that we collect data, so it's not a single one. In some cases, like signals directly from Twitter, from other places that we get. We plan to have a kind of label which is verified. We are speaking with many projects to actually do KYC from our side to get a bit more information in evaluation from our side. Also, in terms of like frameworks, like whether this is a security, this is how can I say, this is a utility. We have internal framework. Not sure if you know the CRC, which is the Crypto Rating Council. So we have some kind of like frameworks to evaluate whether those tokens should or should not be listed. So that's the system that we are in place. So one of our advisors, which is a former director from Coinbase, is the one that helped us to build this framework.
Awesome, thank you. I'm just wondering, what are kind of the requirements for getting listed for any new project that are like launching a social token?
Yeah, so it has to be a minimal market cap and a minimal size of community active. So this is important, like any other liquidity. But since we are early stage exchange, our focus is more around the small communities, so smaller DAOs. So that's our go-to-market. So we actually are preferring the mid-side DAOs that we are gonna work with. And also the other point is whether the DAO is willing to, for instance, do some giveaways and airdropping for the community. Because the community, you know, like especially the traders, they love to get some benefits around this. So as we can have a conversation, we can understand the size of community. If there is any airdrop available, that would be like the few points that we are prioritizing in the communities.
Interesting. So is the platform live and are we able to buy tokens using that already?
No, it's in alpha. You can buy tokens, although depending on the day, like we restrict new accounts to the creation of new accounts. So we are kind of like controlling demand, especially for instance, once we have our airdropping campaign, that there is a lot of trades, new traders. So we kind of like restrict as we can build in a more grow in a more sustainable way. But yes, for many countries, in US is also obviously it's open, but not all states. It's about 30 states that is available in US.
Got it. How does one get access, by the way, like to create an account? Was I audible? I'm sorry.
I heard you, Salman. Did we lose
Yeah.
Freddie?
Sorry,
No, what I meant to ask is the access, like how does somebody get access if someone wanted to set up an account?
sorry, I couldn't hear your question well. I'm sorry.
What I mean to ask is if somebody wants to create an account, given it is it invite only, or how does it work right now?
No, it's you can just go to the website purpletrader.io to create the account.
Awesome,
It's,
awesome.
it's
Thank you.
not invite only. Yeah.
Got it. Just want to open it up if anybody have any questions. But really appreciate the demo study, and the platform is looking good, and like a place to. I like the idea of being able for Web2 users to be able to access community tokens, the social tokens.
Yeah, nice. And also we would like feedback from you guys. This our project is very early stage. So we do have a Twitter account here. So if you prefer like just to leave your feedback and send a message to us, feel free. So especially we are interested like what are the metrics? And all of you guys here, you are kind of familiar with Bankless. So what are the metrics that are more relevant for you once you evaluate to join a community? Features that you'd like to see to feel more comfortable or even facilitate your trading or community tokens. So this kind of like topics are very relevant for us. And our next stage is as I mentioned, like to build this automatic portfolio rebalancing. So just a few buttons, you can you can control your and update your portfolio. But there are a few other ideas that we are planning to implement, like DCA, like dollar cost average strategy, AI advisor around this. All of those features focusing on the passive investor, the long-term investors. So if you are one of those passive long-term investor, we are very curious to know your thoughts and your feedback here.
I've got some feedback
Yeah.
actually, or some ideas anyway, because I think that, so one thing, is that, the bankless community is a little bit allergic to centralized exchanges because the people have been burned in different ways by FTX and others, and we have the kind of our number one call is like not your keys, not your crypto. So I think, there's just I want to just call out, like, that's one challenge that I think, DeFi might have with some of this. But I love your analytics, like that you all aggregate all those different things. That's really sharp. Because I think in terms of social tokens, that's important, and a lot of people have to do it manually. When it is good fundamentals. Like that's a good fundamental analysis on some of those tokens. So I think that especially for like Bankless and DeFi, because a lot of these communities are like the Bored Ape Club and and all these, like, all these social communities are very DeFi native, and so I think that's a potential challenge that I think you all could probably solve with some creativity, with some kind of automated structures or automated financial structured products or the like. So that's the big one that kind of occurs. But otherwise, it's a cool product and interesting direction.
Thank you for the feedback.
Also, Freddie, if you had any question for BanklessDAO Treasury, this would be a good time. Or of course, you can connect on the chat as well. Yeah.
Yeah, I think we are in touch through especially Alex Jen, like with Bankless. I don't have a particular question because we have discussed a bit. I'm quite like I really I watched many videos from Bankless community. I really like what you guys are doing. So I don't have a particular question right now.
Awesome. Sounds good. Uh, High school, I know you had 30 minutes. Thank you very much for joining and contributing on this call as well. And everybody, just as I close it out, if anyone wants to check out Purple Trader, go have a look. And thank you, Freddie, for joining us on this demo and telling us about the product that you're building. Once again, a reminder to everybody that none of this has been financial advice. We do these demos every week at 6:30 p.m. UTC and 7:15 p.m. UTC on the BanklessDAO Amphitheater and stream to Fight Club YouTube. And thank you all for joining.
Thanks, guys. Happy to be here.